If you're seeing this video, it's not a coincidence. I'm only asking for 9 minutes of your time, because what you're about to hear might be exactly what you need right now. You know those feelings, the ones you can't explain to anyone but can't seem to let go of either. This video is here to gently touch that silence. If you're ready, let's begin. Son, do you see that man sitting quietly in the corner of this crowded room? The one who turns his head away the moment your eyes meet, almost as if he's afraid to be seen? People call him antisocial, but have you ever wondered, is he really withdrawn because he's shy? Or is it because he sees something others don't, something no one else even dares to understand? Perhaps he's the only one who hears that deep silence everyone else is running from. The only one who perceives the truth hidden beneath all the noise on the surface. Sometimes, even in the middle of a crowd, a person can find themselves face to face with a loneliness so profound it feels like all the voices around suddenly fall silent, and the only sound left is the scream within. In those moments, the soul becomes like a barren desert stretching into infinity, because some deserts hide the deepest wounds of the human heart, and it's there, in that stillness, that the most honest mirrors are found. Being antisocial is not a flaw, son. It's a choice. A conscious decision made in defiance of mediocrity, shallowness, and noise. They say humans are social creatures, and yes, that's true. But people often forget not everyone is meant to be social in the same way. Some find their answers not in the crowd, but in silence. Some exist not through speaking, but through thinking. They grow not among people, but within their own inner universe. Take Newton, for example. In 1665, he quarantined himself during the plague. The world came to a halt. People were paralyzed by fear, but he paused and thought. And in that solitude, the law of gravity was born. Or Emily Dickinson. She spent years within the walls of her room, silent, invisible, nearly forgotten. Yet the verses she wrote in that silence still reach across centuries and touch our souls today. Son, sometimes locking yourself in a room isn't about running away from the world. It's about protecting yourself from its noise, its fake faces, its constant demands. It's about taking refuge in your own essence. And science supports this too. In people who lean towards antisocial tendencies, the default mode network in the brain is more active. This is the part of the mind that dreams, reflects, questions, analyzes the past, and imagines the future. So maybe you're not broken. Maybe you just think more deeply, feel more intensely, question more than others do. You live not on the surface, but in the depths. And remember, son, depth is not a place everyone has the courage to go. Son, it takes courage to ask yourself this question. Am I truly lonely, or am I just escaping fake relationships, empty conversations, and shallow connections? That question demands heart. Because most people aren't afraid of loneliness, they're afraid of facing themselves, afraid of being alone with their own thoughts, of hearing the truths that echo in silence. You see, some people love being social because it's easy to get lost in a crowd. It's easy not to think when surrounded by noise. It's easy to hide behind masks and look normal. But you didn't choose the easy path. You chose solitude, son. Someone once said, "People ask me, why don't you talk? Because I have nothing real to say." There's a deep truth hidden in that line. A mind that values words avoids meaningless chatter. Because some people talk but say absolutely nothing, remember, son, being surrounded by people is easy, But being at peace with yourself, that is real strength. And some are not alone, they're just deeper than everyone else. One day, we'll quietly leave this world, that's inevitable. But before we go, everyone needs a fortress to retreat to. Not one made of concrete or stone, but one built from character, awareness, and inner peace. Let me give you the 3 keys to unlock the door to that fortress. Accept yourself, choose quality, and turn solitude into strength. Accept yourself. Being alone is not a flaw, son. Not everyone comes into this world the same way. Some draw energy from the outside, nourished by crowds, while others turn inward, walking through the skies of their own inner world. Your silence may not be a weakness, but a sign of a natural depth within you. Make peace with yourself. See your solitude not as an enemy, but as a companion. Choose quality. Think for a moment, 5 hours of shallow gossip or 5 minutes of sincere, meaningful conversation. Which one feeds your soul? Which word stirs something inside you? You already know the answer, because you seek not quantity but quality. It's not about how many are speaking, but whether anything real is being said. Turn solitude into strength. Son, silence, when used wisely, is sharper than any sword. When you step away from the noise, your mind becomes clear, your thoughts sharpen. That's why solitude is not a prison to fear, but a power to be transformed. The antisocial ones are the unfiltered observers of the world. They hear the voices drowned out by noise because they don't just look, they see. They don't just listen, they truly hear. They discover truths that crowds have silenced in the stillness of being alone. Remember, son, sometimes the strongest armor is an unshakable inner calm. Now, son, this fire is slowly fading. The flames are turning into embers, and the crackling sounds are giving way to silence. And what remains is the simple but striking thought. What some call loneliness might actually be your freedom. Not everyone sees life through the same eyes. Some see the crowd as a shelter, others see it as chains. But you learn to breathe in your own silence. When no one understood you, you became your own companion. That's not loneliness, son. That's resilience. That's depth. So don't be angry with yourself. Loneliness didn't break you. It kept you awake. You remembered the truths that others forgot. You stayed silent in the face of lies others blindly accepted. But deep down, you resisted. And remember, being antisocial isn't weakness. It's a choice, a mindset, son.